Good evening, ham radio operators. Oops, I got the radios on. Welcome to the Weekend Wind Down Net. Before we get going, is there any emergency or priority traffic in this frequency? Alright, nothing heard. So this is Ernesto, KI-Phi, PZ, end up Kilo India 5, Papa Zulu November, and I'm your net controller for this net. This net is heard through the University Link Repeater System, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Repeater System, and 50AK. If you're using the University Link Repeater System, make sure your tone is set to 97.4. If you're using the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Repeater System, set your tone to 114.8. If you're outside of Austin, we would love to hear from you too. The way to get in is via Echolink by connecting to KA5D-R or N50AK-R. You can also reach us via All-Star by connecting to node 51444. The Weekend Wind Down is a Rack-Tunet. We get together on Sunday nights to talk about the weekend. Did you work on a project, barbecue, watch the movie, or were you stuck catching up on chores? Ham related or not, tell us, was your weekend a blast or a bust? Please note this is a directed net, so please refer all calls to me, Net Control. Don't forget to leave room between check-ins and transmissions to allow for any emergency traffic. Let's start the Weekend Wind Down Net with a segment called Discord Dish, where we serve up our favorite Discord posts from the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Discord server. Alright. It's funny, I have a sneeze like on halfway out. So if I stop talking for a second, that's what happened. I'm probably gonna have a sneeze attack here in a minute, probably all that wind. Alright, well the first post that I grabbed here was from the CW operation, and that was posted by Pat W5WTH. And this is a photo setup, and the reason why I like this post is because it shows you how light you could go for CW when you're doing parts on the air. Very small rig, tiny thing, a little battery, and a very small CW paddle. So it's basically, if you have cargo pants, all this stuff will fit in your pocket. So, I mean, obviously, the antenna is part of the field, but it's a very light setup, and if you're not doing CW, you may want to give it a shot. It's not that hard once you get started, and it's a fun game to play. I'm talking about, Parks on the Air. We have cool pictures over here on Parks on the Air channel. Chris N0VRP posted some nice pictures of his adventures, Parks on the Air. We check those out, and it kind of gives you, motivation to get out there. I guess once the weather calms down a little bit to get some activations done. And also John N5CFB posted some nice picture here on Parks on the Air on that channel. If you are into it, you want to check it out. Looks really cool, and Summits on the Air as well. There are all kinds of activities happening with the guys out there playing radio in the woods, so check it out. On the propagation channel, that stays pretty busy because there's all kinds of stuff happening with VHF, UHF, and HF as well. There's an interesting one here, an interesting post by Brent NF5Y. It's a book, and I'm going to look it up because I just saw this the other day. I haven't had a chance to look at it. It's out of print, but he found a copy on eBay, and this book is called The Little Pistols Guide to HF Propagation by Robert Brown, NM November Mike 7 Mike. I'm gonna look into it. I'm sure he posted here. Must be a good book, so it's going to be on my list. again, the title of that book is The Little Pistol Guide to HF Propagation. Robert Brown, November Mike, 7 Mike. It's out of print, so we'll have to scavenge the internet for the book. But looks interesting, so I'm going to be putting that on my list, and that's on the Propagation channel on Discord. And then we have another channel, the Meshstatic, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Meshstatic channel, and Will, KC2ZZR, posted a video on the stand-alone Meshstatic messenger device. So check that out, that's on the Meshstatic channel on Discord. We have a channel for antennas, and I would recommend to check that one out. There's always a lot of postings on that one. It's very interesting, just because the fact of, that an antenna could be a great antenna for you under your current circumstances, and then somebody else tries the same antenna, and their circumstances are completely different, and it's just a pile of junk for them. So it's very interesting to see the dynamic, and that happens on the antenna channel. If you are in Newham, great place to go in and ask questions. The guys are very knowledgeable and helpful as well, aside from being friendly people. On the general channel, there's a lot of, obviously, tons of activity on that one. But Rob, K9LZY, posted a link there to information for those of you who want to learn more about X-beam antennas. He posted a link there. So in case you want to check that out, if you are interested in learning more about X-beam antennas, I heard they're really awesome antennas for HF. Social meetup, there's a social meetup channel, and the guys are talking, I know they're just talking about probably starting a breakfast in South Austin. I don't know, that's just the rumor, so go and check that out on the social meetup channel. There are talks over there about getting something like that going on. And those were the posts that I grabbed this week from the Discord server, the N5OAK server. And if you're new ham, or you're just new to the area and want to connect to other hams outside of the radio frequencies, you can go to n5oak.org, scroll down. It's free to join, and you can join the Discord group. And if you are not familiar with Discord, if you can use it on your phone as an app, and you will have all of the different channels that I've been mentioning, and way more related to ham radio, and you can go and check all the postings and ask questions, or just, read all the questions and the answers. And also, you could also download Discord on your computer and use it on your computer if that's something that you prefer. And it's great. It's a great place, like I said, to go in and ask questions, meet people, and stay in touch and current to what's going on in the ham radio community in this area. So again, n5oak.org, scroll down, and join the fun. It's free to join. On your radio, and you are wondering what's going on here. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto KI5PZN. On Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Ohio Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Had an awesome weekend. It's had a little bit of everything. Started on Friday. We ran the very first traveling taconet on Friday. Went to Rusty's house, WZ5BBS, and he turned it into a party, so that was fun. I hung out with a bunch of guys. The net was fun. Talked about tacos. We ate like there was no tomorrow, and it was just joking around and having a great time. So that was a really, really fun time. That was on Friday. Spent a few hours over there at the Presidente's place, and it was fun. That was Friday. And again, and for those of you that are not familiar, this is the net that I am going to be doing the last Friday of each month. And the way it works is I get an invitation from an operator, and I'll go to their house, and we run the net from their house, and I'll bring tacos, and we'll talk about tacos and all kinds of other stuff. All you need is a good reach to the repeater. so that we can do that. If you are interested, you can shoot me an email to Kilo India 5 Papa Zulu November KI5PZN @gmail.com. Today got up really early and went to breakfast at the Waterloo Ice House. We do breakfast every Saturday. That's on 8600 Burnett Road, just south of 183. Had a great time. Met with the guys. It's a good tradition. I've been going there since I got licensed a couple of years ago. It's every Saturday. But those breakfasts have been happening since the 70s. It's it's been around. It's a thing. It's a thing that it doesn't look like it's going away, and it's getting better every week. So put that on your calendar. So I did that, and then after that, I got some work done on this nonprofit that we're working on. We have yesterday and today, and I think after that, then it will be easy, just little things, and we're almost done there. So it's been awesome, and that was yesterday and today. And now I'm running this awesome net, but I'm curious. I wonder how everybody else's weekend went. Let's call for check-ins. But before I do that, let me do a quick ID to stay legal, y'all. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 via the Universal Link repeater system and the Ogio Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Alright, well, any licensed operator, talking about ham license operator, is welcome to check in. New hams, this net is new ham friendly. We would love to hear from you. So, alright, well, any mode, anywhere, please come in with your call sign and name.
This is Whiskey Zulu 5 Bravo Sierra Rusty, South Dallas.
This is November 5 Lima X-Ray Sky in Oak Hill.
This is N5WRW Dwight.
This is KB5MPJ Jason Abuda. This is Kilo Juliet 5 Bravo Lima Charlie Charles out near Copeland.
Alright, we got Rusty, Sky, Dwight, Jason, and Charles. Anybody else I would like to check in, please call Land Control with your name and call sign.
This is Alpha India 5 Oscar Sierra Justin in Austin.
Got Justin. Anybody else would like to check in, call Land Control with your name and call sign.
K5JM Sam.
Got you there, Sam. Looking for check-ins. Please call Land Control with your name and call sign. Alright. We got 7 check-ins. Thank you, guys. That feels awesome every time, you know. There's always that possibility that one day I'm going to be talking to dead air. So it always brings me a smile when I hear that there is people on the other side. So let's go and check with El Oxidado. Mr. Rusty, WZ5VBS, how is the weekend treating you?
Man, I had a great weekend. It would be better if this rain would stop teasing and actually fall out of the sky. It rained here for all of about 30 seconds, and then it's kind of sprinkled, but nothing to get anything wet. Friday was a great night. I invited a bunch of idiots over to the house, and we had a taco net. And man, I think it was about 11:30 before the last one left. So thanks for making that happen, dude. That was totally a fun Friday night. Saturday, I got to sleep in, totally missed out on old man breakfast, and yeah, just kind of dorked around the house. did some stuff. Got to watch some F1, and my man won for the weekend, so always a good thing. But yeah, man, just hoping it would rain a whole lot more than it's gonna. And all in all, the weekend was a success. Oh, somebody also came over and dropped off a Victrola at my house. I forget who that was. But yeah, so more projects to come, man. Life is good. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
Oh yeah, those Victrola guys, you can never trust them. Very cool, man. Glad that you had a good weekend. And yeah, no, with the rain, I was in North Austin earlier, and it got really dark. I'm like, all right, this is it. We're gonna get some really good rain. This is the day, but it hasn't happened, and it's all, like you said, just teasing around us. But for whatever reason, it's shy. It won't do the things. But yeah, dude. And then the TacoNet, that was definitely fun. I had a great time. Thank you for hosting the very first one and for having us over and not minding that we were trashing your place. And yep, I know, man, you got to sleep in on Saturday. You missed some fun times at breakfast. You know, there's always some interesting people coming in. And on that Victrola, for those of you listening, that's me. Obviously, I'm an annoying friend. So I showed up at Rusty's house with an old Victrola that Mireya got, I don't know when, I forgot. I think maybe the 30s or 40s. It's really old thing, one of those things that you cranked, and then, you know, you put your record and do your thing, but it needs a little bit of repair, and Rusty's got some awesome shop space over there, so I figured that we could make it into a, I don't know, evening beer and fixing the Victrola type of event. We have a bunch of people in the club that are really good at fixing things, so we could totally turn it into a social, like I said, a social event. And the temperatures, you know, it's getting a little bit a tad better, so I don't know, man. I'll definitely ping you. Did you do any radio over the weekend now that you have your HF antenna back up? We're going to have to have a conversation about that one of these days. Over to you, Rusty.
There were some guys talking on, what was it? It was 40 meters during the day. They had to be local because they were talking about the HEB. I almost pinged you about it, but you had just left. And so no, I verified that the antenna still works, but I didn't really do a whole lot. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting that Victrola on the Wi-Fi and streaming MP3s, and maybe we can put a CD player in that thing. We can upgrade it so it'll be a Victrola Plus.
We can do a video, pimp my Victrola, and do like a mini bar inside the Victrola. It's I don't know, that thing is probably like 4 feet tall and, I don't know, like a couple of feet wide by a couple of feet wide. I mean, I don't know, it's a heavy piece of furniture, but it's an interesting thing too. And when you put the records and you play the records on that Victrola, the sound, it's just like you are watching some really like a black and white movie. And it's kind of spooky sometimes, the sound that comes out of that thing. So I think you'll get a kick out of that thing once we get it up and running. I think I brought a couple of records up there. I guess the music is so old that it just makes it kind of creepy sounding, but it'll be fun, man. Thanks again for letting me bring it over there and messing with your shenanigans up there, man. Over to you.
Oh, dude, my pleasure. It's always fun to have projects in the garage, even if they are a little awkward. You know, that's why I like you coming over. I like awkward things. What can I say? But, yeah, man, a great weekend. And once again, thanks for the TacoNet. That was a great idea. And I don't know where the next one is, but I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it. Because we had plenty of tacos and plenty of people. And I think the only thing we had more of was BS. Then we had beer or tacos. But, that usually comes when Doug's in the house. So maybe we'll get to chat with him later on tonight.
All right. right on, man. The next one is at Ramsey, so it's really close to your place, KC3NAG. We're going to do the September one over there. And then, David, we're going to do the October one. So far it's with David. And 5YAN, I think it's his new call sign. You guys are killing me with those new call signs. And then Ray said he wanted the November one, so we'll see, man. But it's definitely it was a lot of fun. So thanks again for hosting it and let us crash your place. Do you have anything else for the net, Rusty, before we keep the party going?
I think we should change N5YAN's name to Valentino. Just, we have a lot of Davids, but we only have one Valentino. I don't know. He may or may not like it. I think he's listening, but either way. No, man, great weekend. Thanks for the Taco Net and having everybody over. And look forward to this Victrola thing happening. So, according to my studio, it is 83 degrees outside, and that's record setting since it's not even 8 o'clock yet. So, we'll turn it back over to Net Control so y'all can talk to everybody else. But thanks again, man. We'll holler at you later. WZ5BBS, back to Net Control.
All right, Rusty. Appreciate you checking into the net. Hope you have an awesome week, and we'll be talking for sure. All right, well, that was Rusty, WZ5BBS. Now we're going to go and check with Sky and 5LX. Sky, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you, my friend? Good seeing you at the Taco Net and at breakfast on Saturday. Over to you.
Hey, Ernesto. This is N5LX Friday. I really enjoyed the Taco Net. It was awesome. I guess it was essentially a party for radio nerds, or I guess Rusty said it was idiots, but I don't think so. And thanks again to Rusty for being a great host. That was really awesome. I guess we were all having so much fun that we didn't really participate in the net, or maybe some of us did, some of the guys maybe. So it'll be interesting to hear the next one, on the radio end. I guess whoever's hosting the net or whoever you're interviewing, it's kind of up to them, whether they'll allow guests. So that'll be kind of fun. I really liked it. And I like the tacos too. I'm going to do a reset. No fox hunt this last weekend, so I don't know. That's okay. We don't have to have one every single weekend. Took a little break from that. My mom had a Victrola, and one of the things I remember is that the records were all made of that Bakelite. I don't remember how that's manufactured, but it's very brittle. So if you drop one of those, it will shatter. And if once you drop one of those, it shatters. It's gone forever. And I remember I dropped a couple of those at some point. We had a lot of fun playing those old records. But when I dropped one, it really made my heart sink, knowing that there was like a little piece of history that was gone. But those things are really interesting, so it's good to hear that you guys have one of those. I'm going to reset again. Anyway, the old man breakfast was great as usual, and it looks like I was out in the yard today, and the lawn is pretty much a pile of dirt at this point. But I don't want the trees to get too stressed out, so I'm going to keep watering those. Let's see what else. I tested my new VHF UHF mobile rig, and it works great, and I really like it. So I think this week I'm going to get into the software and program in a bunch of repeaters and frequencies into it. I think maybe tonight I might actually go up into the attic and trim my HF antenna, because when I was fiddling around with my HF rig last week, I noticed that I put my Nano VNA on it, and a couple of the bands are kind of out of whack, so I'm going to hopefully fix that. I'm going to reset again. As far as electronic stuff goes, the only other thing I can think of, that I'm working on in the immediate future is, that's probably not going to be in the immediate future, but you'll laugh at this. I was just looking at adding another iron to my fire, one of my friends pointed out, oh look, there's a really cool pan adapter you can get for the 7300, and the SDR control software, that you use like with Flex, it's now compatible with Mac, the Mac OS, which I have both Mac and Windows, but the computer I use most of the time is a Mac, so I'm like, oh, a pan adapter. So that might be kind of cool, but it's like my list is getting so long at this point, I can't remember it all, so if I ever lose the list, I'm going to have to start all over again. So anyway, thanks for hosting the net, and hi to everybody out there. This is N5LX. Back to you, Ernesto.
KI5PZN with the Weekend Wind Down Net. Friday. Very cool, man. Yeah, it was good. Talk on it was awesome. It was a little bit weird when I was, I guess when the guys who were there at Russ's house were checking in, because we're used to, sending the mic over and the person is somewhere else, and in this case, I would be telling the person over to you and just handing them the mic, and it's just, it's just a weird, not normally how we do this thing, so it was fun. I mean, we had a great time, and it was more laugh than anything, but yeah, no Fox on for this weekend. That was, like you said, every once in a while it's alright just to take a break, especially with this weather. And on the Detroit records, yes, we have a whole bunch of them, like a big pile of them, and they shatter like if they were made out of glass, even though they're made of they look like a regular record. They're just really stiff, and it's like Sky said, if you drop them, they're gone. I've dropped a couple, and it's terrifying to see them just going into tiny little pieces. I have a question for you. What rig did you get? What's your new VHF and UHF radio? Over to you, Sky.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you have had that experience too, dropping those records. I guess you could transfer them all. If it's like something that you really like, you could transfer it, to a digital file. But yeah, the rig I got, it's a Yaesu FTM 6000R. I guess, I don't know, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's kind of like a middle tier radio, and it's a newer model that just came out recently, and I really like it. I don't know if I'm going to use one of the new features it has is a port in the back where it supports all the digital modes, but it seems like a pretty solid radio, and I actually like the way it sounds. The speaker sounds pretty good, which is unusual. A lot of times these radios, the speakers are really dinky, and they just kind of sound, I don't know. Most of them sound pretty lame to me, so I always want to use an external speaker. But this one sounds pretty good.
Very cool, man. I just looked it up. Looks good. Looks like a good radio, and the price seems to be good too. Because those guys tend to sell the radios like way up there, so that's a good price too. And it's got both VHF and UHF. Interesting. Well, I guess after you put some mileage on that radio, let us know how it performs. And another thing I was gonna ask you, or I guess bring up is, before you go to the attic to tune your antenna, make sure you send us a message or something, and to make sure that you are okay when you go in there, and check with us when you get out, because we want to make sure you don't pass out up there, because it's got to be like 300 degrees. Over to you.
Oh, well, thanks for that, Ernesto. I will. I'll send you a little message or something and tell you when I can go up there. But I have never really had a long time ago I had a Kenwood mobile rig for 2 meters, and it was old. That's old school. It had crystals. I can't remember how many channels it had, but it was like a CB radio, and it was 10 watts. But, I was young and poor, and it was a lot of fun to play around with. But this is really nice. I mean, it's 50 watts. I think the other guys recommended I get something that was, had some power, because if you're operating mobile, or even if you're doing a bass and you want to do simplex, it can be useful. Anyway, cool. I'll text you when I climb up there. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet, man. Looking at that radio, it looks like the face of that radio, and that's something I like about some of those mobile radios. It looks very simple. So it looks like it's really too easy to work with while you're driving around. It's just I see 3 buttons at the bottom, and the other couple up there, and they're all pretty standard on the Asus. But I like the layout on that one because I have the FTM 300, and it's a great radio, but driving around it's got too many buttons compared to this one that you got. So I'm liking that radio. So yeah, man, definitely let us know once you get some mileage on that to see if we put it on the list. It looks like it's got a Bluetooth. Is that for a headset? Back to you.
Well, thanks for mentioning that because I read about that, but I'd forgotten. So that's something I want to try out. I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, I mean that's one of the things I kind of like about it is that it has a simple interface. There's 2 menus, like a simple one and then the deeper one. But even that is really basic. And I think that's good for a mobile radio because if you're driving around or something, you don't want to get distracted. It's like the opposite of my FT818, which is a little, QRP all-band rig, which is like really counterintuitive, and you have to fiddle around with it a lot to figure it out. But I like simple. This is N5LX, Friday.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I have one of those 718 one in my office, and yeah, like you say, I programmed the repeaters that I'm usually, checking in and monitoring, but if just to move stuff around, and it's a great radio. It's a QRP. It's a great radio to take out with you. It's got a built-in battery pack and whatever, but the screen and everything is tiny, and I'm not getting any younger. Plus, I have fat fingers. But it's a great radio to have around. I keep it near the computer because I can hit all the repeaters with a mobile antenna on that one. And eventually I'm going to put an HF antenna on that radio as well. Sky, do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
Nothing else. Thanks again, Ernesto. Your net's pretty awesome. I mean, your new taco net's going to be cool, too. I think I'm gonna put the HT on and listen to the rest of you guys while I'm out there watering the lawn. But it's good to talk to you, and hi again to everybody. This is N5LX. Back to you.
All right, Sky. Thanks again for checking into the net. So it's a pleasure talking to you and hanging out as well, man. So looking forward to hopefully see you again on Saturday, or even if we don't get together before that. Alright, that was Sky, and let me do like a real ID here with all of the things. You are listening to the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. Alright, well, we were talking to Sky and N5LX, and now we're going to talk to Dwight. Hey, the names rhyme. N5WRW. Dwight, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Pretty good. This is N5WRW. Oh, I'm trying to figure out a nano VNA here, and I'm hoping it proves to be a useful gizmo. Not much else. Been working on my CW, and that's about it, really. Nothing big going on.
Right on, man. Well, if you're having issues, or if it's getting to the frustrating stages on the Nano VNA, we have a channel on our Discord server for just that, so the Nano VNA. I have one, but I was lucky enough that my Elmer Lance KD3E, he came over, stopped by one day, and programmed all of the things on mine, and so I can just now plug it in and check my antenna. It's a really nice piece of equipment once you get it up and running. I just know how to turn the key. I just turn it on and use it. But it's a really nice little thing to have around. Is it for the new antenna that you were working on last time we talked? Is that you're trying to measure that? Over to you, Dwight.
Yeah, mostly for that HF antenna.
Right on, man. Well, yeah, don't hesitate to put a post make a post on Discord on the Nano VNA channel. We have some guys that are experts with the Nano VNAs, and they're really good at explaining how to get those things up and running. On the CW, I have a question. Are you doing the CW? Oh, what is it called? Academy, or how are you practicing your CW? Over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to do the CW Academy, and I've been following what they want you to do, and I was kind of surprised. They want you to do a lot of sending, too. I'm quite a lot better at that. Which means I think it's quite a lot easier. But I've been listening to coded groups and, all those kinds of things, and got headphones that plug into my computer.
Very cool, man. Yeah, it's I don't know, maybe they want you to be sending more because, like any other language, the more you use it, the more, the easier it gets. I'm better at sending than receiving. I've been trying to get better at head copy, and that's like any other language is something that takes a while. It takes a lot of practice. But I can totally see why they were asking you to, or they're requiring to send more, send a lot, because it would, your brain will be actually just sucking all that in, and it becomes, becomes easier. Did you used to do CW in the past, or are you getting started, or is it like, trying to get back into CW shape? Back to you.
Yeah, I did. I was able to do the 5 words a minute code to get my novice a million years ago, and then I passed the 13 words a minute to get my general, and that's kind of where I left it. Most of the rest of anything I did was either FM or single sideband.
Oh, very cool, man. You are a real ham. The one that has to do the code to get the license. Very cool. Yeah, man, I've been, it's funny because that's what kept me from not getting my license after I was able to speak English, obviously. But then I got into it too, and I'm not any good by any means, but I practice a lot, sending more than anything, but every once in a while I sit here and listen to slow CW conversations, and it's getting to the point where every once in a while, I can understand short words. I can hear the song, like I say, and I can tell, okay, that's that thing. Yeah, my brain is not. Some of them, the short ones, my brain is recognizing the actual word, and not, it's getting to that point where I'm not going one by one. So that's. It's taken a while. I think in October of this year would be a year of me going at this, but I started from zero, and I was just, started with some weird methods, but here I am, making it happen. And so, yeah, and anybody else listening out there, I haven't been a ham for that long, so, it's for everybody to just, and it's a lot of fun, and I see it more like a game, and it's a really fun thing to do. Well, Dwight, do you think you'll have your antenna all set up within the next few days, or you're still working on that? Back to you.
I've got some stuff I've got to deal with in the next few days, but other than that, yeah, it works as it is, but it's pretty low and funny looking. I've got some equipment that I think I can get it up much higher, and we'll have to see.
Right on, man. Well, hopefully in the next couple of days, I think we're gonna have a tiny little break from the heat. So you might want to take advantage of the quote cooler weather, cooler for us compared to other people. Well, very cool, Clyde. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Oh, not much. I think it was 110 degrees at the airport today. No, nothing else. This is N5WRW, back to net.
Well, very cool. Yeah, man, I was in North Austin before the whole thing started, and it was hot. I was outside. And when the clouds rolled in, you could feel the temperature dropping, so that was a nice break for a Sunday evening. Well, all right, Dwight. Thanks again for checking into the net. It's a pleasure talking to you. Nice seeing you also on Saturday for breakfast. And hopefully we'll get to talk to you before next Sunday. Let's go now and check with Mr. Jason, KB5MPJ. Jason, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
KB5MPJ. Yeah, pretty good, Ernesto. Yeah, I heard you talking about the CW game and all that. I think that's the one that you sent me, right? The morsel.
It's funny. I've been doing that thing, but I completely ignore the name of the app because my brain works that way. But I think that's the one that you go every day and do the challenge of the day. Back to you, Jason.
Okay, yeah, because I definitely need to get back to my CW practice. I haven't been doing it that much besides the CW net. But yeah, as far as the weekend, yeah, it's been pretty good. I went climbing on Friday, and then Friday night I couldn't sleep. Every now and then this happens, and I'll get up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and do some FT8. And so I did that, and I made 8 contacts to Japan in 20 minutes. And a lot of them were just contacting me. Like, they'd see me on with one, and then the other stations were coming back to me. So I got those stations plus Indonesia and Spain and 2 U.S. stations, 3 U.S. stations, all on 30 meters at about 4 o'clock in the morning. So that was kind of cool. That was pretty much all the radio I did. I did try 11 meters a little bit tonight. It was pretty active right before the net, but I think I'm just not getting out. I've really got to do something to improve my antenna. But other than that, yeah, just doing stuff here. When the wind came in today, I thought we were going to get rain, and we didn't get any here in Buda, but I ended up taking the shade cloth off of my tomatoes and peppers because the last wind that came through kind of ripped it up, and figured out it's not durable enough to leave up, so I rolled it up, and I'm going to go put it back up before the sun starts beating down on it again. Another radio thing that I did actually earlier this week, so I got this little portable shortwave receiver plus AM FM from China, and the reception is outstanding, but on FM it locks up, like the controls stop responding and it just keeps playing. So I've been corresponding with the company about maybe returning it. They're asking me a couple questions about it, so I may have to send it back, but that's pretty disappointing. But I think I'll get that sorted out. Wednesday, Ray and I went to St. Elmo Brewing to the homebrew club happy hour for the homebrew club that I'm in. And I brought the radio so I could show it to him, and we stood in the parking lot afterwards and listened to SSB stations on 80 and 40 and 20, and it was getting really good reception. So if I get the FM lockup thing worked out, I'll recommend it. If not, then I won't, and I'll probably just be happy that it works on every other band except FM. And that's kind of what's going on. Back to Ned.
Well, man, that's pretty awesome. You got a bunch of really cool stuff going on here. Climbing on Friday. I know you like to do the indoor climbing. Let me do a quick idea here because I'm looking at, I have a timer now that pings me every 10 minutes. This is KFI PZN with the Weekend Wind Down Net. All right, let's continue. Flip this thing around, the timer. And, all right, climbing on Friday. I know that's keeps you fit. I know it's hardcore stuff, but that sounds like fun. I've never gotten into it, but always admire people doing their climbing. And on Friday, it's interesting how we all deal with the insomnia in different ways. That you get all productive and jump on the radio, and you got Japan, look at that, Indonesia, and all that stuff. All I do when I can't sleep is just worry about the world and everything that's going to go to heck and things like that. So I need to be more like Jason and just do productive stuff when I can't sleep at night instead of just pacing around and worrying about things that are probably not going to happen. 11 meters. It's been very active in the last few days too. At nighttime, I've been doing sidebands, 38 between 36 and 40, and there's a lot of activity. I've gotten good contact while I'm mobile. Really good stuff. DX coming in. So for those of you guys listening, 11 meters is a fun band. Don't let people tell you the opposite to that. It's a fun band. And Jason, you got tomatoes and peppers. How are they surviving this heat? And when did you start them? Because I normally have vegetables. It's been a couple of years that I've taken a break from that. When did you start them, and how are they doing? Over to you.
So I've had them for a couple of months, and I water them every day. I think the only reason they haven't gotten, just scorched by the sun is because I've had that 40% shade cloth over it that blocks about 40% of light. And I've only got 3 plants. I'm not a big gardener, but my dad is, and he gave me some extra plants, so I brought them home and planted them. And I've already gotten one little small crop of peppers. I got 3. They're Hatch Chili, New Mexico peppers. And so I've already eaten, I think, 4 of them. And then I've got a second round out there now. I think there were 6 of them. And something ate one of the lowest lying ones. Something already nibbled it. So I may just go out there and cut the rest of them off. They're probably about ready to harvest. And then I've got the Sun Gold tomatoes that are like the little salad, little cherry tomatoes. That one's already producing a few tomatoes. And then I've got one that's called an Early Girl, and it has not started producing yet, so maybe it will in the fall. So hopefully they'll work out. It's not a lot, not a lot of fruit, but 3 plants will give me at least a little something to work with.
Well, man, I'm very impressed because, like I said, I've done vegetable gardening since I was a kid. I've always liked that stuff. But lately, it's been really hard to keep the plants, and it makes sense to put the shades because it's the heat. Like, you can water them, every day, but they'll still just cook in the sun. So that's a really good technique there. I should incorporate that for next year. I might do a fall and winter garden this year. Now that we kind of are done with the nonprofit construction, I might get into that. Very cool on the brewery outing. I haven't been. Well, I guess it's been a while since we gotten out, so we need to plan another one soon. And I have a question on that possessed radio that you got that get, all wacky on FM. What antenna are you using when you guys were listening to HF on the parking lot? Over to you.
It was just a built-in telescoping antenna. So, we were getting the, strong stations on 3916. We got some 40-meter stations. And, it just gets really good. It's an SDR-based radio. So, the only disadvantage is an analog dial is nice to spin and listen to, and you can kind of hear the signals, and this one kind of clicks. You're like a chuffing sound because it goes up in a certain increment. It does have a scan button that seems to work fairly well, but just super annoying that it'll stop responding while I'm listening to FM. Like, it keeps playing, which is good, but if I want to come back and change the dial, I have to press the reset button with a paper clip to get it to respond.
Oh man, that's a bummer, but I'm really impressed too that you don't have to go and get like a long wire to listen to shortwave, to hams too, so, Well, I might be pinging you after the net to get a link and go and see that radio. I've been wanting to get something like that from whenever I'm, somewhere and I don't want to put the setup for actually transmitting, but I want to sit down and listen to, a couple of round tables that I usually jump in. So that would be really cool, man. It's a shame that got those demons, so hopefully it can get fixed and you can get back to, using it without having to mess with that. Well, very cool, man. That's a very interesting check-in. Jason, do you have anything else for the net? Back to you.
No, I think that's pretty much it. I can send you a link to the radio so you can see it. I want to see how this turns out. It seems like something, I looked to see if they had firmware updates or something, because it seems like the type of thing that might, on a SDR, that might sort it out. But I'm going to see if they'll give me a tip, a solution, or offer to exchange it. And I'll see how that goes before I recommend it to anybody. But if it works out well, then I'm sure I'll spread the word, because Ray sounded like he wanted one, and he was wanting to, maybe get one for Cody or have him get one. But I just want to make sure it works and isn't buggy, because then it might be worth spending, some extra. But this one was probably $100 less than some of the other ones. So, hopefully it's not just a, you get what you pay for thing, because it still wasn't totally cheap. But, it would be nice if it works, because it's pretty affordable. I actually bought it because I wanted to track down some RF interference, and I thought it would be good just to have a portable shortwave receiver. So maybe eventually doing some RF interference tracking with it. Back to Ned.
Well, very cool, man. No, that sounds good. I mean, you never know. It might be a good radio. It might have been that, they dropped it or something before you got it or something like that, and that's how it got all yucky like that. But hopefully, you'll get that sorted out. And I'm very curious. Like I said, I'll be pinging you later to try to get a link. I know that right now it's not working out on FM, but I'm still curious about a radio like that. Well, very cool, Jason. You have anything else for the net before we move on?
No, I think that's it. I'll send you the link, and you can take a look at it and see if you want to decide to get one. It got pretty good reviews, so maybe I just got one that's buggy. And it does have an external antenna connection. It's just like a headphone-style jack, so I'm assuming it's a balanced line connection, but that's kind of cool because you can plug in an external antenna, so I'm probably going to play with that pretty soon. Back to Ned.
Oh man, that sounds exciting. It's funny. I get all excited about those things, but I've been wanting to get a shortwave radio for a little while now, and it's just one of those things that ham radio gets you distracted, and you end up doing more ham radio stuff than others. But it's on my list. I'll be pinging you later. Well, I appreciate you checking into the net, Jason. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Well, rest of your Sunday. Well, weekend's already over, but rest of your Sunday and an awesome week is what I should say. We'll be talking to you soon. All right, let me do a quick ID so we can stay legal here. This is the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN. We're here on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. We were just talking to Jason, KB5MPJ, and now we're going to go and check with Charles, KJ5BLC. Charles, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Well, Ernesto, KJ5BLC here. Pretty good, actually. We actually did get rain, and I thought maybe it was going to be one of those quick-moving, but no, it was a real thunderstorm, let me tell you, for about 20 minutes here. So we got quite a bit of rain. Unfortunately, I don't have a rain gauge right now, so couldn't tell how much, but anything was better than nothing. Kept me from having to go out in water anyway, so that part was good. My radio project has been a 10-meter dipole, which I put up on Wednesday. Then dug out my Nano VNA, which I hadn't used before. Let me pause. And fortunately, when you just look at the little thing that comes with it for their menus, I'd have been totally lost. But I had seen where there was a Kindle book that was really relatively inexpensive, like $5 or $6. I got that, and boy, it was great. It told me everything. Thanks for telling me about the Discord channel. I missed that one somehow. I didn't see that. Anyway, for Dwight, if he's interested, this is by Christoph and Maximilian Schwartzler. Christoph is OE1CGS. Anyway, it's kind of a green cover and says a guide to the Nano VNA, and he seems to explain everything. So, anyway, when I first checked my 10-meter dipole, and of course I was having trouble with it up in the tree and the length and all that, it had like a 2.8 SWR. So I expanded the scan and realized it was resonant way outside the...
Charles, did I lose you there?
Oh, sorry. You still got me now?
Yeah, last thing we heard was that you had a 2.8 SWR, and then after that we kind of lost you there, man.
Okay, got it. Well, there's trouble with this repeater. It got real staticky earlier, and then it got better, so hopefully this will make it. Anyway, when I turned it up, I had to shorten it by about 7 inches on each end. Got it right where I wanted it, but today, with the 10-meter net, the problem was, and I had it right on the frequency, but I've never used this HF transceiver before, because it didn't have an antenna to begin with. Anyway, the audio was just not there. I could hear something, but it was very faint. So tonight I Googled it and found out a whole list of things that I can check. Evidently it's a not uncommon problem with those older radios with either relays or capacitors or whatever. So looks like I've got some troubleshooting to do with it. Hopefully I can get it back up and running, because otherwise, you know, I paid some money for an anchor. Anyway, last thing was our CW conversation with Dwight. Just today.
You time out the repeater, you lost you again there. I think you might have timed out the repeater. I lost you there too. You started talking about CW, and that's the last thing we heard.
Well, that's a question for me. Do you know what the timeout on those repeaters are? Is it 2 minutes?
No, I know the University Link repeater system's got like 10 minutes and you can talk all you want, but then the Oaks, they have, I think, a couple of minutes, and yeah, they all have different flavors.
Could be a 3-minute
Yeah, I'm still on the one in Leander, which is 141,600. 41,600, excuse me.
Well, we got Justin there said that probably a couple of minutes, like 2 minutes, so something around that, man, like about a couple of minutes, if that. Back to you.
Okay, that makes sense. That happened to me once before, so I'm a little long-winded tonight. So sorry about that. Anyway, the last thing was about this online learning CW, lcw0.net, or not zero, it's O, stands for Learning CW Online, and it was very interesting because basically their approach is 20 words a minute, and they teach start with a couple of letters, and you just listen to those sounds until you've got it in your brain, and then they'll give you those two letters in varying combinations, and you read it. When you're comfortable reading that with a pretty good percentage accuracy, then you can move on. So thought it was an interesting way to look at that. So maybe there's other ones out there. I just happened across this one by chance. Back to you, Ernesto.
Yeah, man, and no need to apologize for timing out the repeater. I think that's what makes you a real ham once you start timing out the repeaters. Very cool, man. I'm really surprised that you got some rain, and that's really awesome. I'm glad you did. But yeah, we're looking at the radar, and it's just going around us. And as soon as it was hitting the Austin area, the clouds will just disappear from the radars, which is sad for now. You know, we need some rain for sure, but. Very cool, man. Awesome on the dipole. Hopefully you can figure out what's going on with the radio. I was going to say that you should, if you have any questions or want, any advice, you can check out the Discord, and we have channels for that as well. So don't feel shy, and if you have any questions, the guys are more than happy to help you out or point you into the right direction. On the CW,
thank you. That's good.
I started learning CW by ear. I figured that at the end of the day that will be the most enjoyable. It will be probably the hardest part, the hardest way for me to learn it. But at the same time, once you learn it, the most enjoyable one, because then you don't have to be writing things down, and you can just have fun with with CW. But it definitely takes longer, at least for me, to learn it that way. So I'm glad to hear that you are doing that you're getting started on that. And I tried a couple of apps and a couple of methods out there, so they do have all kinds of different ways to learn it. So people who are out there and are interested in learning CW, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as people say, and we're talking about catfish, not actual cats, so don't get frustrated there for a second. Well, very cool, Charles. I'm glad that's that's the goal. Do you have already a key or a paddle or something to practice? Over to you.
Well, yeah, I got introduced by a guy that's a part of the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club at their field day, and it was a Benchley, and happened to find one used at a price I could afford, and so I got that. And then, of course, realized that it didn't have the cables with it, so then I had to go get the cables, and of course, then hoping that if I can get this radio working, that can work at least as a keyer, unless I need to get something else at least to hear it while I practice. So anyway, he was a big believer in the double paddle, so we'll see where I go with all that. Back to you.
Well, very cool, man. Yeah, no, it's a fun thing for sure. I've paddled so far. I have a straight key, but I haven't wired it. It's funny because when I first got the first paddle, same thing, was expecting for it to be like ready to, plug and play. But then I got it, I still need to wire this thing and solder this wire. Of course, it's ham radio. It's, that's the way it works. That's the way things work. So, very cool, man. No, it's exciting. It's exciting, but I would say even if your radio is hiccupy right now, while you figure it out, you should still practice, listen to CW. You can go to YouTube and get videos on practicing copying and things like that, and that way you don't lose the momentum. Over to you.
That was kind of my thought. I think learning to copy is probably more important almost than sending it first, so I can certainly be working on that part before I get the sending part set up. Back to you.
Well, very cool, man. I haven't been on the net in the last couple of weeks because of timing issues, but I've been practicing, so hopefully Pat is listening. Well, now I know Sam is listening. I'm practicing, guys. All right, Charles, do you have anything else for the net before we move on?
Nope, that's it. Sorry I missed your traveling taco net. I planned on it, but I ended up having something else come up, and I missed it. But I saw the pictures on Discord, so it was just like being there.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm sorry you missed it, but I'm glad you were able to check it out on Discord. For people listening, we have channels or all kinds of stuff on Discord, and it's a fun community, so you should check it out. Go to n5oak.org, and you can sign up for free. Well, Charles, thanks again for checking into the net. I hope you have an awesome Sunday night and a really cool week, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you during the week. All right, well, my timer says that I need to do another ID. Yo, I got like one of those, what do you call those? Sand clock. It's for 10-minute timer. It's hilarious, but that's what I'm using now to remind me of my 10-minute ID. So, you're listening to the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by Ernesto, KI5PZN, on Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. via the University Link Repeater System and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Repeater System. I said repeater system, not clearly the first one, which is something that sounded like repeater. All right, well, we were talking to Charles, KJ5BLC. Now we're going to go and check with Justin, AI5OS. Justin, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
Oh, it's not too bad. I kind of trying to get things, trying to put a photo station together. So a while back, I had sold an old amplifier I had and traded it, and I got a KX2, Elecraft KX2 in the trade, and I said, I'm going to get this out. I really want to play with it. Well, I started, looking online and, kind of going through the box of it, and oh my God, this is like the most amazing little radio ever. And I took it and hooked it up to my hex beam here. And, it was great. I worked 5 watts on Hawaii. I'd also been thinking about getting a Wolf River coil, and I got some Wolf River coils in, and I took those out and played just sat out in the driveway and played a little QRP with it. I got the Take It Along Mega package, which is really kind of interesting. I'm going to reset. It comes, the Take It Along Mega package comes with a coil that'll handle up to 150 watts, and then it comes with a 17-inch whip and a little longer tripod. Well, I took it and I was able to kind of work a little bit of QRP on 20 meters, which was kind of interesting. I'm kind of really looking forward to learning more about it. I've also got to devise a good system that's easy to deploy the radials, because it comes with 3 30-foot lengths of wire, and I'm just trying to figure out, okay, I've got the radials out. I understand the whole concept of screwing put the ring terminals on the legs of the tripod and, screwing the nuts down, which is fine. But now it's all right. Once I'm done with it, how do I get, how can I get them back up so that it's all in a nice, clean little bundle, and just get it secured and go from there. So I'm kind of
trying to figure that out. And the other thing I got, this is where I need to really figure out. I sold a 900 megahertz HD I had. It was a Linco DJG 229, and finally got paid for it. And I bought a MFJ 1782 mag loop that somebody was selling at a very good price used. And they had it mounted on a railing in their apartment complex, which was nice. And so now I'm kind of trying to figure out what I can do and how can I make this into a portable station, because I love the idea of being able to take that Elecraft KX2 and use that thing, totally portable, right? In a portable scenario, that's kind of you can go be somewhere, set up, and come back in and not have a whole lot to worry about, right? That's not a whole lot of no muss, no fuss to clean up there. So it's kind of some interesting stuff, but I'm kind of enjoying this QRP bit. I've done the whole amplifier thing. I can talk to whoever I want to on a beam, fine, which is great, but it takes a lot of skill for an operator to be able to go in somewhere and just set things up. So kind of want to pursue that and see where I can go there. Back over to you.
Very cool, man. Yeah, I call QRP the fly fishing of ham radio. You have to, fine-tune your operation, make sure you're getting the best you can from your antenna, and it's a unique part of ham radio. I dig it. I like it. I have a QRP radio, and I'm a fan of that. I don't go out do parks on the air, not my thing, but every once in a while I like messing with it because of the finesse that needs for you to get out there and get in contact. I was looking at that radio. It looks really awesome. I know that Yaesu got and Icom got like something similar to those radio, their own version, I guess. But I was gonna say the mag loop. What bands can you cover with your mag loop? Over to you, Justin.
Supposed to be able to cover 10 through 30 meters, and apparently you can mod it for 40. That's okay. I'm not worried about it being modded or anything. I want to get it, get it going, see if I can get it to work. Then I'll worry about what I can do for it later. But it's supposed to work 10 through 30 meters.
Oh, well, there you have it. That's pretty nice for parks on the air. I like the mag loop antennas for mobile operations. I've seen Sky and 5LX with his antenna doing his thing, and yeah, the beauty of it is, you don't have to be looking for a tree to hang your end fed. It's just you need way less real estate to get your shenanigans done. And like you said at the time, once you're done, it's a lot easier to just grab the antenna, coax, and keep on on trucking as opposed to going and fishing for your end fed that you have up there in the canopy. Very cool, man. So you have like almost everything ready to rock and roll for that setup, for the POTA station setup. Back to you, Justin.
I've got everything ready. I want to get it put together. A couple things I want to get for the KXIBC, which is it's a little board that goes in the KX2 that allows you to charge the battery internally, because it comes with a lithium-ion battery, and it's pretty good. I mean, the thing will put out 12 watts on the internal battery. I was quite surprised. I want to get that put in this thing so that I can just bring the thing home, plug it on, plug it into the power supply, and just be done with it, which is nice. So I'm going to order that from Elecraft, and then I'll get it soldered in if I can. But I just want to do that, and then find a good way to mount this, something to kind of mount this mag loop on. because it's got a weird mount on it, right? And it came with some C-clamps, and I feel like it's bizarre enough, and I have no mechanical aptitude at all. Need to figure out like what I can mount it on to make it portable, right? So like a tripod or something like that, but I can't even begin to kind of figure out how you do that with this thing. But once I do it, the nice thing is about it is you can use it vertically, and you can use the thing 3 feet off the ground, which is kind of cool, right? If you want it horizontally, you have to, put it at least 20 feet in the air, but 3 feet off the ground, that's fine. If I want to do anything more, hey, I've got that Wolfer recoil vertical with 17-foot whip I can throw out there. So, it's all kind of what I'm trying to do there. Over.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, that sounds like a good setup. Like I said, I really dig the Magloop for mobile operation, and it sounds like you have a really good setup there. As you get your radio, if you get that kit where you can plug it in and charge it, that's pretty slick. So that'll be really nice. So, well, yeah, man, keep us posted once you get out there and once you're gonna do your pod activation. Let us know on Discord, and we'll make sure that we'll look for you. Justin, do you have anything else for the net before we let you go?
No, don't really have anything else for it. Just if there's, I appreciate y'all doing the net and everything. It's great. I love what you guys are doing here, and I know exactly where we can have a social meetup. And it's a very good place. It's a place called Slackers Brewery up here on 620 and El Salido. It's right up by my house. I know the owners really well, and they're just good people. They have a great selection of beers on tap. Derek's just a wonderful guy. He and his wife are just good people, and it's what I like to call Austin's take on an English pub. Because they've got some just really good, innovative beers that they're brewing there. I, for one, like the Ghost. It's called the Ghost Pepper Porter. That is my beer of choice. So I highly recommend there. Over.
Well, very cool, man. I might be sending you an email to get more information on that off the air so that we can probably find something. Well, very cool, man. Again, I'll ping you on that one, and hopefully we'll get something going. And you got anything else for the net before we keep on trucking?
No. If anybody has any experience in like mounting or nose, kind of, might be a little mechanically inclined and could say, hey, yeah, here's how you mount this Magloop. I've got one person looking, I've got another person, hoping to get some more people looking to kind of give me an idea as to how I might do that. I would appreciate it, because I'm excited to get this little, take this little KX2 out and kind of get it some use, because boy, it is just a sweet little radio. I can't get over it. I got the deal of a century on this thing for what I gave, and the guy offered me for it. It's just an amazing piece of kit. You can't really beat a radio that's not much bigger than maybe half a box of aluminum foil, and it's got the same features you would have in a station that you would use at home. And for me, I love the fact that it'll tell me what's going on in the menus and everything else. It'll read everything in CW, which is fine. So highly recommend it. But that's all I've got. This is AI5OS.
Well, very good, Justin. Very cool. I appreciate you sharing that information. Funny, I didn't know about that radio, but now I do. Keep us posted on the pod activation once you're ready to rock and roll. And also, you should make a post on Discord about the Magloop installation. I'm sure one of the guys might have ideas on. You can probably do that on the antenna channel on Discord. All right, well, that was Justin, AI5OS, and we are A90. Well, I'm going to do a quick one here. This is KI5PZN with the Weekend Wind Down Net. And that was Justin, AI5OS, and we are going to now check with Sam. Sam, thank you so much for your patience and waiting here. K5JM, what's going on, man? How is the weekend treating you?
This is K5JM, Sam in South Austin. Hey, Ernesto, thanks for running the net, and hello, everyone out there. Yeah, it's been a pretty good weekend here, and just been listening to all the comments, and some things I've already forgotten. But I guess it's just as they would say in CW, it's fine business. So, yeah, not too much going on in Radio Land. Did a little bit of the JS8 call stuff earlier this weekend, and that was kind of fun. I usually don't do much of the digi modes other than CW, which is the original digi mode, and so that was fun to do something different. And yeah, I was kind of curious to listen to Sky's comments about the new radio he got, and then Jason's got his listening radio, and it sounds like that's a firmware thing. So yeah, just been kind of enjoying this evening listening, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, very cool, Sam. I'm glad to hear that. That's the one of the purposes of this net, is to entertain you guys. So I'm glad to hear that you are having a good time listening to the combo here. And I know, man, there are some weeks that ham radio gets life adulting gets in the way, and we don't get to do a whole lot of radio. Something that I forgot to mention is this week when we were having breakfast, one of the I forgot his call sign. It's a different Jason. It's not MPJ, but homie hooked me up with an amp with 2-meter amp. And now I have an amp here that it says what, 45 in and 170 watts out. So I am really excited about that, but I don't have a power supply to run it. So that will be happening some in the future. Well, very cool, Sam. Do you have any projects lined up for this week? Back to you.
Yeah, very good, Ernesto. Yeah, well, speaking of, I guess I will add to that, I did make a QSO with Bill this morning in 5SMO on the local D-Star machine, and everyone these days, he picked up a 2-meter amp, I guess, from Kyle as part of some kind of swap they had, and I think he said he had the D-Star machine in South Austin, and yeah, I think you said he was pushing 180 watts. So that repeater is probably melting, but we definitely had a good QSO with me on my HT. But 6 weeks ago, I'll plan on being on the CW net on Thursday, so everyone's welcome to join. And let's see, it's kind of an ongoing grounding and bonding thing, but that's not going to happen this weekend. But I might, if I get ambitious, I might actually George K5TR. It's an old Master 2 metal cabinet, so the old Master 2 is for like a GE Systems repeater from back in the day, big metal cabinet, and I'm going to sand it down and paint it, and it's going to be a rack that holds All-Star stuff, so maybe I'll get to that this week. That's about it. I know we're kind of getting slim on time. I appreciate you hanging in for the whole hour there, or I guess hour and a half. What time we 7:30, wow. Yeah, we've been trucking here, so I guess that's it project-wise, and yeah, I can't wait to hear more shenanigans next week as everyone kind of gets through the week here. Back to you, Ernesto, K5JM.
Well, very cool, Sam. That sounds like a good project. You're probably going to have to do the sanding and painting outdoor, which is not fun with this weather, but, it's probably going to, I don't know if you're going to do what I've been doing with my project, which is just piling them up for when the temperature, gets a little bit nicer, and then I will have to find another excuse to push those projects further down the line, because you know how that goes. Well, very cool, man. Do you have anything else for the net before we move on, my friend?
Yep, Ernesto, I know how that goes. That if the best, I want to sit here and enjoy the cool weather, so try to get some of them out of the way. But The local news channel, they were saying, yeah, I was no South Austin, of course, but it said this afternoon, I guess the temperature, I guess wherever they're recording, if that was at Camp Mayberry or wherever, so the temperature dropped from 106 to 82 degrees within 1 hour, and that's the biggest 1 hour temperature drop in Austin history. So there you go. That's Net, K5JM.
Oh, very cool, man. Thank you for sharing that. I have no idea. I know I was out there and I felt like I was in an air fryer, and then all of a sudden things kind of, normalized. So, but I didn't know. Well, very cool. That's good info. All right, that was Sam, K5JM, and that ends our check-ins for tonight because the subnet is about to start. But before we wrap up this net, I'm going to read you real quick a list of the local nets so that you can stay radioactive throughout the week. We get started on Mondays with the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club 6-meter Mondays. That's on the 50.125 megahertz frequency at 8 p.m. Also on Mondays, the Williamson County Amateur Radio Club New Hamnet on the 146.640 megahertz repeater, also at 8. And we have two more. We have the weekly YLNet Oak Hill repeater system at 8 p.m. on Monday. And the Texas A&M University Amateur Radio Club Information and Training Net on the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. as well on Monday. On Tuesdays, the Oak Hill Southside Simplex hosted by Ray, K5BZI, that's on the 146.555 megahertz frequency at 8 p.m., 146.555 on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays also at 6 p.m., the Absolute Tech Net, and that's on the Oak Hill repeater system, again at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays. On Wednesday night, we have the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Net, that's on the University Link repeater system, and the N50AK repeater system, again at 8 p.m. On Thursdays, we have the Oak Hill CW Net hosted by Pat W5WTH on the 3.532 megahertz frequency at 7:30 p.m. At 8 p.m., the Oak Hill Thursday Night Net hosted by a different operator every week, and that's on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 8 p.m. Mireya, KI5SYX is going to be running the net this week, so stay tuned for that one. It'll be a fun one. On Saturdays, a K5LBJ News and Information Net on the N50AK repeater system and the University Link repeater system at 10 a.m. At 7 p.m., the Austin Amateur Radio Club Elmer's Net, hosted by Jeff, and 5MNW on the 146.940 megahertz. At 9 p.m. on Saturday, the 220 megahertz Guides Original Preservation Net, hosted by Steve KB9DSQ. Easiest way to tune into that one is to Echolink by connecting to WM9W-R, that's Whiskey Mike Niner Whiskey Romeo. On Sundays, we have 4 nets. We have the Austin Amateur Radio Club 10-meter weekly net on the 28.410 megahertz frequency at 3 p.m. At 7 p.m., the Travis County Aries weekly net on the 147.360 repeater. At 7:30, this one, the Weekend Wind Down Net, hosted by me, KFIPZN. On the University Link repeater system and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system. And at 9, coming up, the Austin Amateur Radio Club Swap Net, hosted by Jeff, N5MNW. So stay tuned, because that's coming up in a couple of minutes. And go to n5oak.org to check the calendar for the DMR machine. We have nets almost every night. Hopefully the machine is not melted. All right. Let's get a count on tonight's check-ins. We have 7 check-ins. Awesome, and I would like to thank every single one of you guys for checking into tonight's net. That was Rusty, Sky, Dwight, Jason, Charles, Justin, and Sam. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me tonight. Well, I hope that even if your weekend was a buzz, and definitely if it was a blast, that we all keep the momentum, focus on the positive, and here is to a great start to your week. Alright, thanks again to Kyle, KA5D, and the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, N50AK, for letting me use their repeater system to run this net. To learn more about the University Link repeater system, please visit ka5d.com. If you would like to learn more about the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, including how to become a member and how to join the club's Discord server, please visit m5oak.org. I'm Ernesto, KI5PZN. And from IQTH in East Austin, Texas, 73, and thanks again for participating and listening tonight. This system is now returned to regular amateur use. Good night, y'all. It's funny, one of these days I'm going to press the wrong button and I'm going to do the fart one, and that's going to be even funnier.
You should build that in, while you're just sitting there talking. It'd be just like being around you in real life.
No, it's funny. Just News is obviously the same app for 2 years. No, what year? A year now. And it's funny, that one, every time I press it, I'm so careful because all the buttons around are just, just funny stuff that I shouldn't be playing here. But let's hope that it doesn't happen. KI5PZN.
Later, man. WZ5BBS.
Go to bed, you guys, so you can get up and work tomorrow. This is N5LX.
Why do I have to say that bad word?
Yeah, and laughing after I said it.
Yeah, go get in your attic, old man.
I'm on my way.
Don't forget your home alert in case something bad happens.
I'm going to start driving over there, Ben.
You missed it, Ernesto. He said, what did you say again, Rusty? Something about a home alert?
Yeah, your home alert bracelet. The I've fallen and can't get up stuff. You definitely, it's time for that. Either that or just like duct tape an HT to you. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll take an HT with me.